Hi, this is Ansu Sesay with Real Game, brought to you by Basketball Psychology, the show that brings basketball and other sports to you in a way that you can easily understand. I'm here with CG and Mike,
Sir,
and today we have our second episode of our series on good qualities of a student athlete, and we have courage. So today I'm gonna just start us off with what I think courage is, and my definition of courage is strength in the face of pain or grief.
yes, sir. I feel like this is a big one for us, man. Courage is something that's not really spoken about very often, but it's something that is essential and that every good athlete has to have. Um, Whenever you're faced with that pain, that grief, or certain situations, you have to be courageous in order to get over those humps. So, yeah,
I think courage. I think of willingness to push past your boundaries, kind of get outside of your comfort zone. Because when you're comfortable, it's easy. Everything is going smooth. And once you get outside of your comfort zone, it takes bravery and courage to be able to do that, because that's usually when it becomes hard and difficult.
definitely. And I know we can all kind of attest to this. Just being a athlete and a student athlete, you have to actually practice those moments. Whenever you're at practice, though, you're put in situations where you have to be courageous just for when game time comes. There's different situations that the coach might put you in practice, where you do game time situations like the shot clock going down, where he might just drops a play for 3 seconds. Those are times where you are basically practicing being courageous, because if you don't have the willingness and the want to take those shots during those moments, then more than likely you're not going to hit it, or the coach is not going to call on you because you haven't shown that you have the courage and what the coach might say is the sack to actually take those shots. So,
I think it can even be as simple as getting knocked down and being able to persevere and get back up, whether it be literally like you get knocked down and have to get back up, or you get knocked down, it was a tough game and you got to bounce back. You play in 2 days or you play the next day, being able to bounce back from that loss.
You could say, talking about getting knocked down, we can get even more specific. Just staying in there and having the courage to take a charge.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Simple play
something.
like that.
Yes, and then we've touched on the athletic side, but we haven't even touched on the other side of it, being a student or just we know that you're an athlete, but everything that comes outside of basketball, just you have to have the courage and you have to be willingly able to stay out of trouble and say no to things might that might steer you wrong or lead you in the wrong path.
definitely, definitely. I really do feel like this is a great conversation that we needed to have, that we're supposed to have, to kind of just help everybody understand like that courage is definitely a quality that every good student athlete needs. We just spoke about some of the aspects that the athletes have to go through on the court and off the court in order to succeed. And just to throw out one more example, when you're in the game or whatnot, there's plenty of moments to where you might get humiliated, you might get dunked on, you might get crossed over. And in basketball, you're naked. Everybody's going to see it. You don't have a helmet on to see it, to hide your face. And there's just to say it like this, basically, you're thrown into the fire with this sport. So if you don't have it, you're not going to last. And that's not just in sports, that's in life. As in being a student, you get what I'm saying? Like when a teacher calls on you, you have to have that courage to, you know what I'm saying, speak in class. You have to have that courage to ask the questions that you need to ask in order to get a better understanding of what the teachers are actually teaching in their moment. So
that goes with life, though. Like you said, even past being a student athlete, just applying for jobs, actually going out, getting a job, starting a business, you have to have courage to do those things. And if you don't have it, then you could get left behind, or you could just be someone that you'd be like, man, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that. But if you had the courage, then
yeah.
some of those things might have happened for you.
I just got one question just to ask, like, just being a part of a team. I know that you all could probably see it, like whether or not your teammate is courageous or whatnot, because I believe that a lot of people will not have, it'll cause problems on a team if you don't see that your teammate is courageous, or if you're not courageous, then your team is not trusting you. They're not expecting you to come over and be a help defender, to get over and take that charge like you've spoken about, or to run the lane like you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I feel like as a teammate, you just know, like, if you're, especially being at practice with those guys every day, each and every day, you know who has it and who doesn't. And it's not, I feel like it's just a feeling. It's not something that you could just,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, it's just a feel. And everybody who knows sports know what I mean.
Definitely.
I think it kind of looks like, just from a visual standpoint, of going hard, consistently going hard and giving everything that you have, because it takes courage to be able to do something like that day in and day out. And especially when, like, your efforts don't guarantee success. Like, you can work as hard as you want. That doesn't promise you that you're going to be successful. So it takes courage to be able to know that you're not guaranteed success, but you still going to give your all and do your best so you can hopefully reach the level or the success that you're trying to reach.
That's deep, man. That's deep.
Yeah, that's really what I think is so important, for real, because it's going to help you be successful in the long run.
Said it best, bro.
Man, courage, like you said, is a big part as a student athlete, but it's also just a big part in life in order to be successful. As always, man, we appreciate everybody who's tuning in, everybody who listens, everybody who supports us, man. We appreciate it. We're going to keep this series rolling for y'all. We got new content coming, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're just going to have a whole bunch of new stuff coming up for y'all. As always, the podcast is available on Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, my phone, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Shout out to Riverside for the podcast, man.
Sure.
Shout out to the one.
Yeah, we're going to tap in with y'all next week, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's CG. I got Sue with me and Mike, and we signing out.
Sir.
Hey, y'all go check out some NBA games, man.